ex-BFF refused to pay back loan, so I'm making them pay the IRS. Right before the pandemic hit, I had left an abusive relationship for good and moved back to my state to stay with one of my longtime BFFs to get back on my feet. This was someone who was like a sibling to me for 15 years. We went through the highs and deep lows in life by each other's side. Once everything was shut down, all my work, freelance, and side hustles dried up. It wasn't until summer that freelancers were included in all COVID relief and I was eligible for unemployment. The same time, my BFF was transferred to another state, but only for 1 year and then back. They weren't eligible for unemployment BC. They were still working remotely on reduced pay and hours, but they claimed they didn't have enough money for the move and their relocation package was only $500 to break a lease and move to a neighboring state in 30 days during a pandemic faced with monocle. Since I was planning to go with them, I lent what money I had to help with the cost of the move. Once we got to the new state, friend needed a car to get back and forth from work instead of ride-sharing, so I lent them more money to lease a car. I started working underneath them BC. Their company was short-staffed for the holidays and I needed income. This is important because ex-BFF knew exactly what I made, a little over $11 per hour. Around this same time, I brought up the loan and they agreed to start paying it back in chunks. By the end of the year, they had only paid back $400 and told me they were getting a nice EOY bonus for how well the store performed and would be able to pay me back in full after the new year. We agreed March was the deadline. By February, I was asking if they gotten said bonus. "Oh, I haven't gotten it yet, I'll let you know." Meanwhile, they had been dating someone toxic AF and were never around, and started being distant via text with me and other mutuals. March arrives, ex-BFF informs me they'll be transferred back to their old store and we can move back to where we came from. Yay. And oh, I'll have to pay you back later. BC, I had to pay off a bunch of credit debt which was from a toxic ex they dated before the current one. Okay, fine, let's get out of one of the worst states in the country and then we'll settle up. Later that month, a mutual friend was hanging out and ex-BFF told them about the move back, except they said I'm moving back before quickly correcting to we're moving back. Eyes. April arrives, ex-BFF had to travel to old store for a week to get work things settled. I catch them when they're back and ask about the plans. In rapid succession, they reveal that they've completely screwed me. I found a 1-bedroom condo. I'm not taking any of the furniture. You can find a nice place for probably $1,000 per million. Oh, I'm ending the lease here 2 months early, you have to be out by June. You can keep working at the store here if you want. Long story short, I spent about a year couch surfing with friends in 4 different states. I was battling a deep depression over the horrible relationship I had left, the friendship I had been booted out of, the suicide of another close friend, and the general shitshow of life after COVID hit. It was a terrible time and I felt incredibly stupid that I let myself become homeless by trusting the wrong people in my life. After several attempts in writing to ex-BFF for repayment, I considered small claims, wrote up a demand letter and organized all the paperwork. All their social accounts immediately went private. After a month of no response, I considered the time and money it would require to recoup my losses, neither of which I have much of, so I decided this doesn't have to be my problem anymore. They've been sent a 1099-C for cancellation of debt. They don't want to pay me, fine, they can pay the IRS since they kept my loan as income. I have all the receipts I need to prove the loan and repayment terms, and they know that, too.